jelly rolls. They are so convenient and so wonderful to use, but you know what? They can cost a lot of money. And sometimes when you have a lot of scraps, like I do here, you really want the convenience of a jelly roll, but you don't necessarily want to buy more fabric because, again, you have a lot of fabric in front of you in your own stash. So today I'm going to show you how to make your own jelly rolls. This is quick and convenient, and it just uses up some of your scraps. It also gives you the convenience of making something that's kind of in a kit and using some of those wonderful jelly roll patterns that are out there. So a jelly roll pack usually has between 40 and 44 strips of fabric. They are usually from a full collection, so you get a little snippet of each piece of fabric in a collection, which is always nice. And unless they're batiks, they usually have pinked edges. For me, it's kind of a pain in the neck to work with. It's a personal preference. I don't particularly love the pinked edges. I never know whether the measurement is to the point or the valley of the peak, and they seem to shred little crumbs all over the place. So I'm not a huge fan of that part of it, but I still love them because they are convenient. Also, when you get a jelly roll, sometimes there are 2 of each fabric, and when you make your own, you can do all 40 or 44 or whatever strips totally different, which is just a great advantage. So I'm going to go through the Christmas fabrics and pull out ones that I think go well together. So let's get started. Okay, so as you can see, I have a ton of different fabrics here. I have a pile of scraps, and I have even more scraps in here, which, here, let me turn that around so you can see. They're in this bin, which I'm actually going to pull out so you can see even better. So I have a ton of Christmas scraps. This is one thing that people tend to give me if they're cleaning out their stash. You know, they always ask me if I want some Christmas scraps, and it's hard for me to say no. So some of these pieces I know are too small. I'm not even going to bother with them, but some of the other ones are nice size. So I'm going to go through these. I'm going to pull out all of the blues and anything that isn't traditional Christmas colors and come up with like a smaller set so we can look at what we have to work with. Okay, so I narrowed it down to this pile. Okay, so I have a lot of beiges and greens and reds. And one thing I did pull out that I didn't mention before was anything that was a large scale print, like say this one here. It's very cute and I love it, but this might get lost in a jelly roll cut and it might not even look Christmassy, but that's up to you if you want to include these. They are cute, and but for me, I'm just going to pull those larger prints out. So I have narrowed it down to a pile. What I'm going to go through now is separate my reds, greens, and beiges or lights and just make 3 piles of those. Okay, so now surprisingly, I got actually 4 piles instead of 3 because I found a whole lot of these beige backgrounds or beige and off-white colors and not that many whites. Actually, this one probably could even go over here. So I was surprised by that, but that's just going to help me figure out what I'm going to do for my jelly roll set. So I'm going to set these white ones aside. I'm not going to use them. Next, I'm going to look for pieces that are full widths of fabric, so salvage to salvage. For example, this is a scrap. It doesn't go full width of fabric, so I'm going to set that aside and maybe make charm packs or something else out of those. And I'm going to just do that with all of my pieces. Now this looks like it, yeah, so this is full width of fabric. See, it goes the full like 42 to 44 inches. And I'm going to keep that because I can press that up and cut a 2.5 inch strip out of it. But the other pieces that were with it, I'm going to set aside. All right, so all in all, I am pretty sure that I have all that I need, 42 different fabrics. And I did pull from my stash, I pulled some greens and reds and some beiges just to balance all this out. And you can see we have a nice variety of colors here. I'll flip this over so you can see. And we have greens, reds, and some beiges, and I think this is going to make a really pretty scrappy jelly roll. So you have your fabric here, and I lined it up with the selvage because we know the selvage is straight. And I'm just going to fold this over like this, making sure everything is straight and square. And then I like to use a 2.5 inch ruler. It just makes the whole job easier. I'm going to line that fold up on a line so I know it's straight. Hold it and cut on either side. And that's going to give me a 2.5 inch strip for my jelly roll. Just like that. Now, if you don't have a ruler that's 2.5 inches, you can always use a bigger ruler and go over to the 2.5 inch mark. Again, lining it up and cutting. Just make sure you hold the ruler nice and steady and cut. And you have a 2.5 inch strip. That's how you do it. I'm gonna cut the rest of these out and I will meet you back here with my finished product. Okay, so here they all are. I just love how scrappy they are and how there's just an assortment of Christmas prints in this bundle. And I can use this many different ways, just like I can use a jelly roll, of course, because I have, I think, 42 pieces here. And if I pair this with a white fabric, you can see how it just goes with all of them and pulls it all together, even though there's some beiges in there. And if I would have sprinkled in some white, it wouldn't have gone as well, I don't think, because now I can put some of these mediums up against this white and it'll still pop. So there's a lot of different things I can do with this. I do have a video coming up using Christmas jelly rolls, and I am going to use a lot of these pieces in that video. So I love how it turned out. To put this away, it is a little tricky. You know, that's the downside. It's not in a nice roll, but I just kind of fold them up neatly into little bundles, and I'll put them into a baggie or into a box or something like that. I hope you enjoyed this video. These are a lot of fun. You could do these in different colorways, different holidays, whatever you want, and have them ready to go if you're going on a retreat, or just to have them on hand if you want to make something that inspires you. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.